The Browns, where primetime sun is getting the primetime nod. Shedeur Sanders will reportedly start Cleveland's preseason opener against the Panthers Friday after hamstring injuries put the two QBs not named Joe Flacco in front of him on ice for this one. He's gotten the fewest reps through camp so far, so what can we expect, Herm Edwards?
I will say this, there's not enough reps to go around. Now, Joe Flacco doesn't need a lot of reps. I mean, you can just go in the game. We know what Joe Flacco can do. It reminds me a lot of Vinny Testaverde when I had Vinny. But I think if for Shedeur, if you're getting a start, you need to show off. I mean, you need to go ahead and win the job. I mean, get in there, being the starting quarterback, and you know what? Take advantage of these reps you're about to get in live action. That is going to help him a lot if he can play well.
Maybe Herm could talk to Justin Fields because it hasn't been the smoothest training camp for him. Today wasn't much better. The Jets QB was intercepted in team drills by new addition, the cornerback Brandon Stevens and safety Andre Cisco. Now, Fields was also picked off by safety Tony Adams. Although the defense had a better day than their QB, Fields knows there's still opportunities for improvement.
Days like this is a day that we didn't want to have. It's a great opportunity to see, how we're going to respond on Thursday. So, like I said, it's inevitable. You're going to have these days in training camp. That's why we're out here. That's why we're out here working. And, defense, they won the day at the end of the day. So, like I said, it's about how we respond on Thursday, and we got to come out hot. I think we at least need to see the field each and every game. I think that'll be good for, our team. It'll be good for Tanner and the in-game stuff. It'll be good for me, the guys on offense. I don't think. I know some guys, they sit out the whole preseason, but I don't think that's the case with us, just because of, the new team, new offense and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about the situation.
Though we have an answer for this week, that Colts quarterback situation is still up in the air. Anthony Richards Sr. will get the call Thursday against the Ravens, though. However, regardless of how well or poorly this goes, head coach Shane Steichen announced that Daniel Jones will be manning the huddle for the second game against the Packers. Also made it a point to say he's willing to draw out this decision through the entire preseason.
From Browns camp, fifth-round draft pick Shedeur Sanders will start their first preseason game at Carolina on Friday. Cleveland quarterbacks Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel have been banged up, so the team actually signed Tyler Huntley. 40-year-old Joe Flacco, by the way, is healthy. Jeff Darlington is back, and we say hello to America's coach, Herm Edwards. And I'll start with you, Jeff. What more can you tell us about Shedeur Sanders getting his first start on Friday?
Well, yeah, some big news for the Cleveland Browns announcing that Sanders will, in fact, get that start. Now, there is some very important context to this. He is still listed as fourth on the first depth chart that came out. He's still behind Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett, but both of those quarterbacks are dealing with hamstring issues, so they won't be able to play in that game. We know that Joe Flacco is the projected Week 1 starter. As a result, he won't play in that game either. So this is, though, for Sanders, an opportunity to do something that he doesn't often get to do in practice, which is get reps. Repetitions are hard to come by with the Browns because they have so many quarterbacks, so it is a huge opportunity for the Browns' fifth-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, if you're Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, how are you sort of evaluating all of these quarterbacks when reps are limited and they're all hurt?
Well, you're right. When they're hurt, it's very difficult. But I will say this, there's not enough reps to go around. Now, Joe Flacco doesn't need a lot of reps. I mean, you can just go in the game. We know what Joe Flacco can do. It reminds me a lot of Vinny Testaverde when I had Vinny. He's ready to play. But I think if for Shedeur, if you're getting a start, you need to show off. I mean, you need to go ahead and win the job. I mean, get in there, being the starting quarterback, and you know what? Take advantage of these reps you're about to get in live action. That is going to help him a lot if he can play well.
You know why you say Joe Flacco, you know what you're going to get? Because I thought this stat was incredible. The Browns came back to the NFL in 1999. They've had 40 starting quarterbacks since, and only 3 of them have winning records. One of those is Joe Flacco. That's absurd in so many ways. Let's keep talking about Week 1 of the NFL preseason, which actually kicks off tomorrow, or Thursday rather, with the Colts at the Ravens. Before they do battle, they're doing a little camping together. Indy is in Baltimore for joint practices. The Anthony Richardson-Daniel Jones quarterback battle gets a much different look.
Yeah, I just think it's a good measurement to see where you're at as a team. I know we've been going against each other for however many practices it's been, so it's a good measurement to see where we measure up against another opponent, get some good practice in, get some good work in. The biggest thing I think Coach wants to see is us coming out here competing, letting the work that we put in show against another opponent, and just strain and finish when you're in there.
But who is in there is the question, in particular when it comes to the Colts. Jeff, what could you tell us about this Daniel Jones versus Anthony Richardson situation, how they're handling that battle?
Well, first of all, Anthony Richardson is going to start the first preseason game. Daniel Jones will start the second preseason game. But perhaps more importantly is the way that these players are currently listed on the team's first unofficial depth chart, and that is as or. There's an or between their names, Anthony Richardson or Daniel Jones as the starting quarterback. Every other position listed as normal, that the one position that is listed as or. So we do know that this is a neck-and-neck competition, that according to head coach Shane Steichen. It will be Richardson getting that first start. And to make it very clear, though, that this is a competition, he also did clarify that Jones is getting the second start.
Okay. Well, what do you make of that classification? They're both QB1s, Coach.
Well, then you don't have one. You basically say that. You don't have a starting quarterback. And that's a problem. And you've got two guys, basically Jones and Richardson, athletically, they are outstanding. But can they play the quarterback position from the pocket? And at the end of the day, you have to play from the pocket. You got to make good decisions with the football. You got to be accurate. You can't turn the ball over. And so right now, there are two athletic quarterbacks, big, strong, can run, can throw the ball out of the stadium, but can you play within the frame of the offense? This is what coach is looking for.
Or you could come back and you could talk more about the impact of the incredible quarterbacks that we now find ourselves in, which is exactly preseason week 1 starts Thursday, where the Rams will host the Cowboys in Inglewood. But before that, the teams have come together for some joint practices. It's the first chance for teams to hit someone other than their own teammates, which feels safer and better. And we're joined now as we say hello, SportsCenter on the road, presented by Geico, with our Cowboys reporter, Todd Archer, who is at the aforementioned Cowboys joint practice with the Rams. And Todd, I'm going to ask you a question that probably no one's asked you in the last 3 minutes anyway. Where do things stand with Micah Parsons and the Cowboys?
They stand in the same spot that they stood on Friday when he asked for a trade, and when Jerry responded a day later saying he's not going to trade him, and he thinks the world of Micah. So far, no trade calls from any teams, no more talks about an extension with the Cowboys and his agent. Mike has been on this practice field today, in his jersey and also in tennis shoes, which is more than what he did yesterday, and certainly more than he did on Saturday when he was sitting on this perch under the perch behind me on the grass, really just kind of by himself. So kind of in the same never land here for the Cowboys and Micah. We'll see when this ice thaws, but so far, nothing.
As much as I love you giving fashion reports, he's wearing a white shirt and some sneakers. Should we talk about the dudes that are actually practicing? Largely Dak Prescott. How important are these joint practices for Dak Prescott as he gets ready to return to the field?
Yeah, he told us the other day, very important, because he's likely not going to play in the preseason, even after he's coming off that avulsion surgery that he had that ended the season last year. He knows that this is the close to live action that he will have before they play the Eagles on September 4th. From what you saw out here just a little bit ago, some good, some not so good. Had one pass intercepted in the end zone on a throw to George Pickens, found CeeDee Lamb a couple of times. But really, I think the Rams defense probably had the edge, especially when it comes to the run game. But so far for Dak, it's been a productive camp, running around, looking good. And the next time we see him play in something like real football, come against the Eagles.
Yeah, a reminder that when he did play those real football in 25 games over the last 2 seasons with Schottenheimer as offensive coordinator, the Cowboys averaged over 27 points per game. It would have been the 4th highest by any team during that span. Real quick, Todd, it's been 15 seconds. Where do things stand right now with Micah Parsons? I'm just kidding. I'm not going to ask you to do that again.
I'm trying to. You want me to go get him? I'll go get him.
Beating up on their own and start doing it to other teams. Today, the Rams at Cowboys camp in Oxnard, California for joint practices ahead of Saturday's preseason game between the teams in LA. And fitting that all eyes in Dallas are fixed on a lone star. As we bring in our NFL reporter, Jeff Darlington, who has more. Jeff, we've got a couple storylines for both teams, but let's start from the obvious place with the Cowboys and Micah Parsons. Where do things stand with him and the team?
Well, I wish I could give you a more promising update, but as of this hour, there is nothing new with Micah Parsons. Instead, he continues to ask for his trade. The Cowboys not willing to grant it, nor willing to pay him the type of money that he currently is asking for. And so we continue with this hold-in. Parsons is on site. Certainly, we have seen it before with the Cowboys where this could change at any minute. But for this moment, Micah Parsons still a contract hold-in with the Cowboys. And same practices, we're also dealing with something with the Rams, something that has been lingering throughout training camp, and that is back soreness with Matthew Stafford, the team's quarterback, an issue that has continued to plague the start of camp. Now they're trying to get across the idea that this is not something to be overly concerned about, but Sean McVay saying that he is doing better. He's still not there though. He is considered week to week at this point. He is not going to participate in these joint practices. He essentially has his own workout off to the side as he continues to try to rehabilitate what is an improving back, but not good enough yet to be practicing with the full team.
Yeah, it's one of those lingering injuries, too, that you don't want to play with, especially when you consider Matthew Stafford has yet to play a full slate of regular season games since 2021. Coincidentally, the same year they won the Super Bowl. All right, some breaking news, actually, in the NFL that we need to get to. Vikings receiver Jordan Addison gets a 3-game suspension for violating the league's substance abuse policy. He was charged with DUI last year after he was found asleep at the wheel of his Rolls-Royce on the highway in Los Angeles. Jeff, what more can you tell us about the NFL coming to this decision to suspend him?
Well, I know it could be a little confusing because we're talking about a substance abuse policy and a DUI. These are linked together. Now, Jordan Addison suspended for 3 games due to that DUI. The NFL putting the language on it that the suspension is due to the substance abuse policy violation. A month ago, Addison did plead out of that DUI to a lesser charge. The NFL then coming down with this punishment. Now, this is the number 2 receiver for the Vikings. Justin Jefferson obviously still there as the number 1 guy, but as J.J. McCarthy tries to get his footing as the franchise guy, he will have to do so at the start of this season without his number 2 target as a wide receiver.
Yeah, Addison, the first-round pick for the Vikings in 2023. He started 29 games. He has 133 catches and 19 touchdowns, but he will be eligible to come back week 4 against the Steelers in Dublin. And, well, on a lighter note, Jeff, everybody waiting for the debut of Jags two-way star Travis Hunter. We saw him scrimmage on Friday. He played on both sides of the ball, 17 snaps at receiver, 21 as defensive back. Here, in fact, is Trevor Lawrence today on his new rookie receiver question mark.
We should all be excited to see him running around out there wherever it's at on offense, defense, hopefully more offense. Throw one in there for us there. But just the way he plays, energy he plays with, even just little things like interacting with the fans and just the juice he brings into the stadium, like that stuff does mean something, you know, and not everyone necessarily has that personality, but he has something about him that's just, I don't know, it's just special.
Everybody requires his services on both sides of the ball. It's a good problem to have, but I'm wondering what more you can tell us about how they're going to handle his workload this season.
You know, the thing that captivated me most about this situation is oftentimes when you have a rookie come in, you have coaches and GMs trying to kind of subdue the expectations. Liam Cohen, the team's head coach, is going head first into this thing, saying that he believes that he could potentially be the offensive and defensive rookie of the year. That sort of tells you the idea when it comes to the workload that they're anticipating for Travis Hunter. Now, we should also point out that right now they have him as a starting wide receiver and a number 2 cornerback on the depth chart, but we do anticipate him getting looks quite often throughout each game. Most captivating part to me is also Travis Kelce of the Chiefs saying that he's going to have to face wide receivers who just run deep routes on him all the time to try to wear him down on defense, so he can't play all that well on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you talk about the workload specifically.